that were a little bit of a threat to the ear of the people of his time, and he introduced them by weaving them into the texture. So one note that was okay suddenly became a little interesting, and then resolved. And he just kept weaving all these notes in and out. And that way the listener was like, cool. And now those notes are so common that if I were to play those notes now, you're like, what's the big deal? It's totally fine. What's up? However, things have changed. We have new harmonies now. The next year, that piece became so popular that on stage we had somebody just play the piece as Bach wrote it. And it was very lovely. And then sometime later, a year or two later, we had, was it Cheney sing it? I think, yes, Cheney sang it with Gounod's Ave Maria on top of it. Same piece, now with this other bit on top of it. It was beautiful. And we're still doing it in theory because it's fantastic. And then Becky Ron heard the piece, never really having done this kind of intense music before, and said, I have to do something with that piece. And she learned how to play the piano and co-wrote strings for it. And we had a string orchestra, a little chamber group, and she conducted from the piano and played the Bach piece with this music happening in the back. The piece is so beautiful. And now, I think the crown of this evolution of this piece at Darrow, you'll hear tonight, because we have a composer who has taken that style and introduced today's cool, slightly threatening sounds that make it just so colorful, and brought it into the piece. Kind of chords that this gentleman had, I think that this gentleman would call woof chords. Why? Because every time he likes a chord, he goes, woof. You might hear that come out tonight. It just happens. It's a sign of genius, I think. But anyway, so what this gentleman has done, I'll introduce him in a second, is that he is taking chords that he typically woofs out anyway, in these vertical stacks, and now he's learning to hear them in these weaving lines like Bach. And he wrote his own version of the prelude, and I am so, so happy to introduce Sam McNally tonight to come up
Bravo!